is my gift to be able to understand the meaning of dreams.
Your gift is a generational gift.
Like to spend time on their own and then tell people you can understand their dreams. That was just a little bit too much.
What does dream mean?
It's expressing the deeper desires and wishes of a person.
But where is the source of the dream? Where is it coming from?
Dreams come from the deepest and wisest part of ourselves.
Is it that maybe when we die, all that information that we have accumulated in life dies?
Those thoughts, that knowledge is just, it's there. It's in the ether, if you will. And that can be pulled down in various ways to be used by other people.
How much do we really go when we go into the world of the dream?
The people who appear in our dreams are not necessarily themselves.
What is actually a dream in relation to a nightmare?
A nightmare is a form of dream. It's just one that has negative connotations to it, or generates negative energy.
What do you really consider when you decipher a dream?
Look at the dream in that context. It's all about context.
Is it possible that people sleep without dreams?
Statistically, that happens with everybody on the planet.
What is your final thought here? Maybe a message you want to leave the people with?
My question to people is, what are you missing out on by not listening to your dream? My name is Sheila Balgobin. I'm also known as the Dream Decipherer, and it is my gift to be able to understand the meaning of dreams. It's a family gift. It's something that has been passed down through the women in my mother's line, and I'm the fifth generation of persons with disability. How it manifests is different in everyone, but for me, it means that I have the ability to be able to unravel the meaning behind dreams. I have made that my life's mission, if you will, to be able to share that gift with others, either by helping them directly with their dreams, or as a sleep and dream coach, helping them to improve their sleep and to unravel the important information that may be contained within their dreams.
Wow, this is really beautiful. Trust me, I've never had the chance to interview somebody about interpretation of dreams. So this is going to be an interesting conversation today. I am very positive about that.
Okay.
So, but before we get into the integrity, you will call it, let's spend some time to learn about you, because you said this is a family history or heritage, as it were, right?
That's right.
All right. Tell me about that family.
Well, it's family like all other families. As I said, this is just a particular gift that's been handed down through the women in on my mother's side. It's one that almost kind of taken for granted in a way. Not taken for granted, but it's not something that people made a whole lot of fanfare about or discussed a lot. And for many years, actually, it was something that I actually ran away from. You're a kid who's a bookworm and wears thick glasses and like to spend time on their own, and then tell people you can understand their dreams. That was just a little bit too much. For me growing up, but it wasn't really at 8 years old. I've realized that I had this family gift when I had a dream, and it was about one of my aunts and my 6 cousins' home burning down due to an electrical fire. At that time, it was unusual that to have this dream, but I noted it and kind of looked at the time on the clock and went back to sleep. But the next day, another aunt came by the house and told us gather things that we didn't need to be able to take to this aunt and my cousins whose home had burned down. And that's when the penny dropped for me that not only did I have this gift, but dreams were something important. and it frightened me. So it was something that I actually ran away from for a long time until 2017 when I attended a women's retreat in Marrakesh in Morocco. And it was there that I realized that not only that dreams were something that people were interested in, but would be willing to actually pay someone to engage with their dreams and learn more about them. So that's officially when I started to bill myself, as you will, as a dream detective, or now the dream decipherer. And I've just been walking that path ever since. Everything else that I've ever done, and I've done lots of things over many years, from banking to paralegal work to working in the medical field for many years, holistic therapist, a psychotherapist. So I've done a lot of things over the years, but I've kind of taken all of those abilities and talents and skills that I've developed and brought them all together under one umbrella, working with dreams. And the reason why I became a sleep and dream coach is that because if people aren't sleeping well, they're not dreaming well either. And even though neuroscience these days has indicated and is showing that dreams are important in and of themselves, not just as a part of sleep, but they're linked, and you can't have one without the other. So it's to get people to sleep well so that they can actually get to the dream stage is important.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, you said one is linked to the other, so people better pay attention to the sleep, and therefore the consequence of it is the dream. Because if you are dreaming without sleeping, now you will be daydreaming.
Well, yeah, I mean, and interestingly enough that you say that, because I worked in London for some years as a drug and alcohol counselor. And what I noticed is that while the clients that I was seeing were still drinking or taking drugs or whatever they were doing, they didn't dream. And that makes sense because they're suppressing memories. Once they stopped, however, they were dreaming constantly, even when awake, which is why sometimes we see people standing in the middle of the street screaming and crying at somebody that only they can see, because they have the dream content or the suppressed content in the unconscious mind is flooding up into everyday waking reality. So in that state, they're in that place, they're in that content is brought up, but to us from the outside it just looks like they've completely lost it, but that is the dream content or suppressed information in the unconscious mind that is flooding their waking minds. So you can literally dream while you're awake, but it may not be the healthiest thing. There is, however, a technique that I do with people who are psychologically sound, meaning that there's no possibility of them getting lost in the dream, so to speak, that they can do while they're awake to be able to engage with dream content and in a conscious way. And that's called active imagination. It was a technique developed by Carl Jung. And so you can dream while awake, but either because it's a psychotic episode or because you're doing something like active imagination under guidance, which is different.
Okay, take us back a little bit. You are a little young girl, Sheila. What do you see around you?
All kinds of things. I mean, we had all kinds of pets in the house. Lived in an apartment in New York City, fifth floor of a sixth floor walk up, and we had a monkey. We had dogs. We had rabbit
A
at one
monkey?
point.
What?
Birds.
Where did that monkey came from?
Well, my father was an animal lover. I mean, we all liked animals, but couldn't stand seeing animals being mistreated. So he's always bringing something or other home.
Okay.
So my brother raised pigeons on the roof. I mean, it was all kinds of stuff. But so animals were a big feature of my growing up years. Typical city landscape. We lived at that time lived in the Bronx in New York. brutal winters. It's very cold. With freezing temperatures of well below.